Hey, what's going on? It's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com. Gracie and I made it out of the hospital, which is fantastic. We are here at the Palawan SeaView Resort. There's the sea. Here's our resort. And this is our view. So I'm pretty stoked. I feel so much better. It's great to be out of the hospital. Anytime you're in the hospital, it's great to be out of the hospital. It's also great to have hospitals. So don't get me wrong, while it was imperfect, I'm very grateful for us being here. So here's our room, which is pretty awesome. It's got this big old wood door with this big old crack, which is really kind of funny. Considering it's brand new, right? But I mean, you know, the wood they get here is, it doesn't, they don't necessarily dry it all the way at first. So anyway, you know, just standard, right? Like bathroom and that sort of thing. These rooms are, I think, 4,000 or 5,000 pesos a night, something like that. I got a smoking deal on it. The guy that manages this place, his name is Eric. We met him last time he was here. He's awesome. And actually, he's the guy that this resort, the manager of this resort, Palawan SeaView Resort, arranged for my transport from the lame-ass hospital down to the big boy hospital. And so thank God for that. And I owe them like just a lot. That was like really stellar. They've recently remodeled this place. In fact, we're in what's, you know, you could call it the new building. But I mean, it's awesome. They got their own power distribution going on here, along with generator, and then sort of the older, you know, resort there. Great pool over there. I kind of already showed you guys this resort, so the short answer is we're just back where we were. And the main reason being that, again, they were just so good to us. And we were coming back here anyway, actually. But yeah, again, if you come here, please tell Eric I said hi. and I hope you enjoy this place. Talk a lot about gratitude for sure, don't I? And I got to tell you, you know, once you get out of a hospital, then you get pretty damn grateful. But the contrast thing about the Philippines is that to get out, you need to pay. And I'm not kidding. I mean, there is a blue piece of paper that Gracie has to give to the guard, you know, so that says, yeah, these guys have paid, they can leave. When they came to us initially, the woman said, okay, so yeah, we're going to contact your insurance company about the second night you needed to stay here. And then once you agree to pay, or once they agree to pay, then you can leave. I said, okay, well, how long will that be? She said, well, 30 minutes to an hour. I said, all right. So she leaves, comes back gratefully and to let me know that there was an update on the time. She said, yeah, it'll be about 3 hours. I'm like, okay, I'll call my insurance company. I'm waiting 3 hours. And my insurance company was like, yeah, we just, we agreed to pay and then talked to, anyway, got it taken care of. And so Geo Blue is the insurance company that I use when I travel. I'll put a link to them below as well. They were great. I don't know what it would be for you, depending upon what you get. I have what's called the Trekker policy, I believe, which is, it's good for 1 year, and it allows me to travel, or it provides me with insurance anywhere in the world, with the exception of the U.S., and I can travel and stay in that country for up to 90 days. And it's like $200 a year, and my bill in total for the two days in a room, basically. I mean, we got there at 2 a.m., so you could argue that I was, you know, there for that day, quote-unquote day. And then, you know, then that full day, and then basically all night last night. And, you know, I mean, it's a hospital, right? And they took really good care of me. The facility is, you know, you could argue it's not that great, but all in, my bill was like 31,000 pesos. Which is approximately, you know, 650 bucks. And out of pocket, I had to pay 3,500 pesos. So, you know, like $80. And so I'll do that all day long. You know, the room charge was, it was 2,000 pesos a night for the room. The doctor's fee, which is the, I mean, there was a couple line items in there. I mean, it was pretty clear what, you know, they charged for and that sort of thing. We could have taken the pillow with us, I guess. I guess we bought the bedding to be there too. It was, I think they would have used their own, but nonetheless, Gracie bought a thermometer, which was smart. and I needed to have one of those anyway. I normally travel with a digital thermometer because, of course, it was funny. Many times they came up to me and they said, "Oh, so do you have a fever?" And I'm like, "I don't know, physician. Do I have a fever?" And so that was sort of comical, but I'll tell you, the greatest thing is that, I'll tell you, there's okay, so the second opinion, I mean, that's pretty damn important. And that was very clear to me during this instance, because the first hospital's like, "Oh yeah, you have typhoid, which apparently like lasts 2 weeks, and it's pain and diarrhea and headache and sweating and fever and all this garbage." And then additionally, of course, it's like, okay, where the heck did I get that from? Because they keep referring to fecal matter, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't normally eat that as part. I guess I should take this off, right? I don't normally eat that as part of my protein diet, so I don't know where I got it. And the house that we stayed at, the Airbnb place, over in sort of Rojas area, basically, if you can see where Palawan is and the various barangay that are in Palawan. Or province or whatever. He sent me a message. He's like, "We came home and we like disinfected the entire house. We threw away all our water." And he kept, telling us, he said, "Look, dude, we boil our water. We boil our water and then we refrigerate it and that sort of thing." And I'll tell you, so this was kind of neat. The guy that we stayed with, he shares a very similar view to life as I do, which is great. Being open-minded and being clean, being sober, being a taxpayer, sort of thing. And he wasn't, the infamous Cheap Charlie, right? And we were talking about what he paid for the house and all this, and he's like, yeah. I was like 20,000 pesos, 30,000 pesos. I'm like, dude, you're building a house that could have cost 4 million pesos and everything. Got a big plot of land. He's married to a Filipino woman. She's very nice. Her name is Belle. His name's Tom. And I'll put a link to their Airbnb thing below as well. He helped us out big time, basically drove us to the hospital. Sat around at the hospital up there in Rojas. But again, I don't fault him for taking me to that hospital because, of course, it was the closest one and it was what was appropriate at the time. It's just that, given their funds, and that is basically what fuels a hospital, right? You can't afford great doctors if you don't have good infrastructure, and you can't afford air conditioners if you don't have money. I get it. So, luckily I was able to get out of that scenario for less than 4,000 pesos. So that was, meaning, so the bill was actually 5,000 pesos, and then the transport for me to get the hell out of there was 4,000. So that's pretty good. 5,000 to get into the hospital, 4,000 to get away from the hospital. So anyway, but it's great. So Gracie and I are going to spend I'm here for another day, which is awesome. And then we're up into Manila. She's back to Calibu, and I'm off to see my folks in Boston. And so there you go. So anyway, I am back to living my ass off, and grateful as hell to be alive for one more day. I get another 24, and I'm psyched to be able to spend it with Gracie. So anyway, I love you guys. Hope you're living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong. Ciao.